Hi everyone. Today, the method we're going to introduce is engage, study, and activate, the ESA method. I am Wei.
I'm Rahma.
I'm Van.
And I'm Kayla. Okay, so engage, study, activate. The ESA method is an alternative and advanced version of the presentation, practice, and production, the PPP method. And ESA method is developed by Jeremy Harmer.
Oh. Right.
According to Jeremy Harmer, arousal and affect are important for successful learning. And the point is that unless students are emotionally engaged with what is going on, their learning will be less effective. And my partners will tell you more about the engage, study, and activate parts later. And now I'm going to introduce 3 types of ESA. The first one.
Sorry, hold on a minute. Our presentation is like broken. Alright, there we go, sorry.
The first one is the typical one, which is for the beginners. And the next one is called boomerang, which is engage, activate, study, and activate. The teacher gets the students engaged first. Based on what happens there, the students will learn some aspects of language that they lack or used incorrectly after the activity. And the last one is called patchwork, and it can be in a variety of sequences. The teachers should adjust the sequence of engage, study, and activate according to the student's English level. And then next, I will introduce the differences between the ESA method and PPP method. And on your chart, you can see some characteristics of the ESA and PPP. The biggest difference between PPP and ESA is that the ESA method is more flexible and communicative, and it based more on the students than the teachers.
Okay. Okay, so our lesson plan that we created, we have, right here you can see the class description and objectives and all types of different information about our class. Right, so our students, they're high intermediate level, ESL and EFL students, high school level, and they're from multiple different countries, including Korea, Japan, Spain, like that, and we have about 15 to 20 students in our class. Right, and then what we're trying to do with this class is we're trying to teach them real word usage of negation of can and can't. We're trying to give them be able to use communicative output and be able to comprehend the input that they're getting back. So we have 2 objectives for this lesson. The first one is we're trying to get them to be able to communicate and use the ability, permission, and request of the negation of can and can't. And our second objective is we're trying to have them be able to identify the grammatical structure of the negation of can and can't. So the students' prior work in this is they've been working on the negation of different be verbs like is, isn't, are, aren't, and they've also been doing do and does in the past tense. And this is the end of that lesson they've been learning on the negation of be verbs. And so the next lesson they'll be going into modal auxiliaries. So we thought that the negation of can and can't would be a good segue into that lesson. And the teacher's role in ESA is kind of like a partnership with the students. They, the teacher facilitates, gives them materials, gives them assignments and activities to do, but they work with the students to be able to negotiate meaning, and the students have a more active role in the lesson.
Okay, so you saw the 3 types of ESA. We're doing today the EASA, the boomerang. because as you said, the level of our students, they are high level students. For ESA, it's for beginners. So we thought of, taking the boomerang today. So we'll we'll explain engage and then activate and then study and then activate again. In the engage part, so what is this about? Actually, this part, the engage part, is used to grab the students' attention by involving their emotions and interest. And possible activities here can be anecdotes, simulating pictures, games, and video interviews. So, so the engage part is used to stimulate the students' interest and involve their emotions, and it's to something that is in real world use, and it eases them into what in the lesson. For this purpose, we picked a video. We chose a video that's it's an interview and on the street to people about things they can and they can't do. So the students can see the actual use of negating modern auxiliaries. I will show them this video, and they will ask the students what is this video about, what they think our lesson is going to be about, what are the different uses of can when it's negated or not, like possibilities of using it as an ability or if using a request. Okay, so it will take them into the lesson. This video is about 4 minutes and 50 seconds, but for the presentation time constraint, we will just show you about 40 seconds of the video.
I can play tennis. I can play tennis.
What else can you do?
I can sail, and I can I can play table tennis, and I can play chess, and I can play squash, and I can play football and rugby. I can sail. I can play table tennis, and I can play chess, and I can play squash, and I can play football and rugby.
Can you speak any foreign languages?
Yeah. Oh, I speak somewhat French. I speak Spanish, English.
Great.
And Russian. Well, that's my native language.
So you can sing?
Wow.
She's not bad.
Not really.
Can
you sing something now for us?
No.
You see here if using a request here now, yeah. So after the video, you see what the video is about, and you can see how we chose this, how this relates to my engaged part, how we put this part of the lesson. Now you can see it's like a warm up, it's attention grabber, it's always activate the students' background knowledge, they get to their real lesson, and then it's guide them to the main point of the lesson. So it's also authentic, it activates, as I said, their background knowledge. So we believe that it's a really, this is a very good engaging tool to start with, and it serves our specific purpose. So now we'll go to the activate part.
Okay, so for the first activate, what we'll be doing is they talk briefly about the uses of can and can't after watching the video that Rama just showed. So they know a little bit about can and can't, but we want to test their knowledge of what they grasped so far of can and can't, and also what they've learned previously, their prior knowledge of the negation of be verbs. So to do that, we'll be playing a game, and we thought a game would be a good choice to segue from the engage portion, because not only can the teacher kind of understand where the students are at in their learning, and they can take that knowledge and use it during the study portion later to kind of help facilitate certain students or where they're at. And then also we decided to do a game because it kind of segues from the first engage, and this activity is a game, so it's also engaging the students, but it's also testing their knowledge. So for, yeah, I'll let the video explain it. Okay, so to play the helicopter game, you're going to have you and your partner are each going to have one whiteboard marker. Imagine this is the whiteboard. And what you're going to do is the teacher is going to give you a phrase, such as she blank going to the mall. So in that case, the verb that the teacher is looking for is. She is going to the mall. But since the students are studying negation, they have to take that verb and put it into the negative. And then what we're going to do for the game is you and your partner each have to write one letter of that verb at a time. And so to do that, you're going to link arms to the partner, like so. So if you spin around, the next person's going to be facing the whiteboard. And as soon as the team figures out what the verb is, they're going to write it as fast as they can. The other team will be going at the same time. And the first team to be done gets a point, and to indicate that they're done, they both sit on the floor. So, just imagine the teacher is given the verb, and we will go. So we're going this one. And we would sit down and show it we're done. And that is how you play the helicopter Yeah, so the point of that game was not only is a really fun game that since you're racing against another team and everybody has their partner, so you're going as fast as you can and you get kind of dizzy, but it's a really fun game. We played it a lot in like high school language classes, and we thought it was a good way to let the students kind of practice their prior knowledge that they used, kind of also practice what they're learning today, can and can't, and then through that the teacher can kind of, like I said before, work on what needs work.
Alright, so our next part of ESA is study, and it is one of the most important parts of ESA because it you gain the most knowledge while you're studying the topic, and it addresses any problems that the teacher might have noticed that the students were making in the activity or the activate part. And so this right here was the structure of CAN chart that we found, and it kind of shows like the positive, the negative, the question aspects of it, and it kind of shows them like, I can play tennis, he cannot play tennis kind of thing. It gives them examples and something to look at if they need help. So
About the question.
yeah, like, can you play tennis? So, in using this chart, it shows the examples, and then I was gonna go, or as the teacher would go to this worksheet that you guys have, the second page after, and it just kind of shows what we would give the students for an in-class activity. It's kind of like notes that they would have, and then on the bottom and on the back, you guys see these pictures. We decided we were gonna, in order to engage the students and make them interested in the content of what we were teaching, we were gonna do a Halloween theme because it's supposed to appeal to the emotions of the students, and that's what kind of gets them interested in learning. So we would have cut these pictures out, taped them to the bottom of their desks, and then the teacher, as a controlled activity, would have walked around the classroom and asked the students, like for example, like, can you carve a pumpkin? And if they looked at the bottom of their desk and saw that they had a carved pumpkin, they would answer, yes, I can carve a pumpkin. Or